That sounds more like it. Hey, welcome to the show where we talk all things entertainment, business, talent, relations, if you want to call it that. We're sort of the HR department for all of you independent actors and show business people out there to help you navigate this chaotic world where it seems like every time you turn around, somebody's either trying to pay you too little or get you to do way too much work or asking you to build a TV studio in your living room so they can see if you're the right type or not. I'm Jonathan, joined as always by the lovely and talented Leslie.
Hello, hello. How are you, my friend?
I'm good. I do tend to get myself worked up about this stuff, but I think it's because I care so much about it and because I see solutions that to me, and I'm sure to you, are ultra clear.
Yes, yes. And being on the talent side, I think you come up with these solutions in your mind. Why can't we just, or it's very simple if we just did this or that. But as you were talking, Jonathan, I wanted to ask you because this is your life's work, so it's natural you would get worked up if you're seeing, injustices in this department. So how did you come into this career? Like, did you always want to be an actor from when you were little, or is this something that kind of came to you when you were older?
I actually have that exact story, and it happened in fourth grade. I remember being in the musical theater or music class in elementary school,
Mm.
and I'll never forget my teacher, Mrs. Peltz. I still keep in contact with her to this day.
Wow.
When I was in her classroom, I would behave the same way I would when I was in the portable classroom or the other classroom with the regular teacher all day. I'd do the same stuff. In her class, I'd get leading roles. People would clap for me. I'd get Tootsie Rolls and prizes at the end. I do that same stuff in the regular class, and I miss recess.
Didn't translate to the
It
other
di-
class.
right, it didn't
No.
work at all. And so I'm like, forget this. I'd rather just go to that class again. And after a while, I never thought of it as a job because when you're in fourth grade, you don't know what a job is. But I thought, well, if I can do more of this and be treated that
Yeah.
way, then
Mm.
I'm going to do that. And so in sixth grade, my mom took me to a theater, a local theater here in Florida, to watch the audition process, to see what it's like when you do this thing outside of school. And I remember sitting in the very back of the auditorium with my mom, and the director was on stage, fiery red hair, knee-high black leather boots, and this green sweater suit thing. I'll never forget. She stepped out on the stage and she said, and if you're sitting back there watching these auditions, get up here and audition right now. And I was like, yes, ma'am. So I jumped
Wow.
up, registered, and ran up there thinking that was the rule. I didn't know she was joking. So I stood up there center stage, 12-year-old me, sang a cappella with no music. The sun will come out from Annie. And I got cast in the chorus. And from that point on, I did a lot of the shows. I started going
Yeah.
to New York over the summer, started learning that people actually make a living, sometimes a very comfortable living at this. And that's how it really all got started, at least the performance aspect of it.
Interesting. Wow, I had never heard that story. So this has been really a lifelong journey for you on this road of acting. And of course that turned into not only live in theater. I've seen you perform on stage, but I've also seen you perform on camera as well. And you're excellent in my opinion.
Thank
So,
you. Thank you.
yes. And so, in this journey, you've really come to understand not only how to perform and be on camera, but like what it takes to even get to that spot. And I think that's where you come from. And I was reading an article that actually validates all of the things that you have said on this show when it pertains to audition time and self tapes and having to set up your living room as if it's a set and and have props with you. And basically, the article was in the Guardian, which I don't really read articles from the Guardian very much, but it was out of the UK, and it caught my eye because it was really, I mean, the headline was like, to the T, it's soul destroying, actors' fury over the rise of self-tape auditions. And they
Wow.
have an equity union over there, and they're basically, the equity union is saying, look, all these hours that these actors are putting into this self-tape time is unpaid labor. I mean, some people had to memorize 12 pages of scripts. I mean, and a lot of this is for like more scripted TV stuff. But we go through the same thing in our little commercial world, where we're asked to do all kinds of crazy stuff to just get the chance to be in a callback to get a job. It's
Right.
like, especially when you've been in the business for a long time, you have the credentials, you have the reel to back it up. Where you're already doing half of this stuff anyway, so it gets frustrating. So you're not the only one who feels that way, and actually people are trying to do something about it. So I don't know. Will they get anywhere? Who knows? But
Maybe, but it's better than everyone just remaining clueless, you
true.
know? And another
Yes.
really interesting perspective that I think you and I have is that, yeah, we've been on the talent side, but we've also produced, we've also cast things. I helped produce an off-Broadway show. I helped produce a lot of commercial and corporate work. So when I get frustrated with casting professionals, let me calm down. When I get frustrated with them, it's not because I wonder why they do it that way. It's because I know there's a better way to do it because I've done it that better way. And it's faster, more effective, and saves the client money
Right. So
and helps us pick
proven.
the right talent. It's
Mm.
proven.
Hmm.
And it's not a secret. It's something I'm trying to share with the world and with the industry. But I feel like in our industry, and maybe I'm wrong on this, but I feel like the people who really need to learn those lessons, either they don't want to learn those lessons or they don't know that there's a better way to do it. And I
Mm.
think when it comes to casting and being an agent or even a producer, the reason those individuals don't recognize that there's a much better way is because they're the gatekeepers to employment and sustainability and rent. So
Yeah.
everybody is always agreeing with them,
Mm.
trying to be the yes man or the yes woman. Don't get on their bad side. Don't get on their bad side or they'll blacklist you. And so if you feel like you can do no wrong, because for decades no one's ever opposed you or suggested that there's maybe a better way, when one person comes along and says, there's a more efficient way to handle that casting process, you can get it done in an afternoon, not 2 weeks. They're like, well, who do you think you are?
Mm. Yeah. What do you know? Right.
Yeah.
Yes. In my other business, we call that change adoption. So being open to adopting a new way of doing things is very difficult. And you're absolutely right. I think it goes further than, oh, there's a better way to do this. Let's research and do it that way. It's more like, well, this is how we've done things for a long time. This is why, this is our process. And a lot of people are getting paid from that process too. So, it's a hard thing to circumvent. But certainly worth discussing. And I like, the things that you say in terms of like how this could be a more efficient process and how that's better for talent and the end product is better. That's
Yes.
the other thing. You what you get and the shoot day and the production day. So at the end of the day, it is more cost effective as well, I would imagine.
And it doesn't have to be as chaotic as it always seems to be.
Always seems to be.
Sometimes I'll show up on set and the director is going crazy and the producers are running around and I'm sitting here thinking, did nobody think to go through this beforehand? Or they're so focused on we need this particular line to be 17 seconds because that's what this frame or this clip. It's like, well, you have an editor, right? But they don't think that way, not because they can't, but because everybody's training is so pinpointed and focused on one particular thing
Mm.
that there isn't always somebody that can tie it all together. Sometimes there is, and those are great shoots.
Yeah,
Sometimes.
right. Have you had the experience, because I know I have several times, where you get to set and within the first, half hour to hour, you're like, oh, this crew knows what they're doing. This is going to go really well, or this crew does not know what they're doing, or they're not in sync, and it's going to be a long day.
I can tell
Both of
from the
those.
audition brief.
What's gonna be when you get there? Yeah, isn't that
Yep,
funny?
I
Yeah,
could tell.
these. Yeah. Oh.
One of the best I ever did in terms of I had the most fun and the team was the most in sync. And we all just felt like we were a family of people, a group of friends having fun, being creative, and we got something magnificent out of it.
Mm.
It was a Regions Bank commercial in which there was no dialogue from us anyway, but it was about a couple who appeared to be arguing in the beginning, and then you realize they're actually playing charades.
Cute. Yeah.
Yeah. It was so much fun. The director was a film director out of Atlanta. We shot this in Florida,
Mm.
and he let us create and play and have fun. And a lot of the stuff that actually made it into the commercial was stuff that I would just create on the fly, or the gal who played my wife would create on the fly, and we were having fun. It didn't follow the brief or the storyboard. We understood who these characters were and we went with it. And the
Yeah.
director let us and loved it and used it. When I did that callback for this, I was booked through a local casting agency.
Uh-huh.
And this casting agency did not tell me that the callback could be virtual. Or no, I got that wrong. She did not tell me that the callback could not be virtual.
Ah.
So I did not know that they were expecting me in person. I had sent an email saying, hey, I can't be at this in-person callback, but I can do it via Zoom the next day because I was in New Orleans,
Mm.
outside of Florida, but I could do it remotely, whatever, the next
Sure.
day. And I never got a reply. Well, I had to travel. I had to go to New Orleans. It was for my school that I owned, right?
Okay.
So
Yeah.
I'm driving literally over one of these, I don't know, it's like a 30-minute drive over a bridge. There's a
Mm.
giant bridge that connects the north shore to the south shore. Anyway, over Lake Pontchartrain. So my phone rings and it's the casting assistant. Hi, Jonathan. This is the casting assistant for this particular casting director. I noticed that it's 5 minutes till your audition, and are you on your way? I said, I'm in New Orleans. Well, the client is here and we're waiting on you. So, well,
Keep
I
waiting.
emailed, I said I can't be there, but nobody ever got back to me. Emailed the agent, nobody ever got back to me because they just assume when they say, can you be here, that the answer, I guess, is just going to be yes because everyone's so desperate. Well, I finally said, I can do this via like FaceTime or Facebook video or something. And she goes, no, that's not okay. And the director, I guess I was on speakerphone, the director said, that's fine. That's fine. No, no, let's do that. I said, well, great. When I get off this bridge, I'll pull over. My assistant had her cell phone. I stood in the middle of what I now realize was not a good neighborhood, but I stood
Mm.
in the middle of the street and I improvised and ad-libbed this callback. And the guy goes, his name was Glenn. I remember he goes, that's all I need to see. You're booked. You're in. Go enjoy your
Wow.
trip.
Wow.
When people know what they're doing, they don't need to see you over and over and over and over and over again.
Yeah.
When people have the authority to carry out their responsibility, they don't need to see you over and over and over and over and over again. So we got it done. And it was to this day one of my best times on set.
That's amazing. And that's such a good example of why you hire professional talent, because when you're on set and a director gives you a note or says, you know what, actor's choice, go for it, you're making your choices. If you've never done that before or you don't understand what the note meant or anything, that's time, and time is money. So it's like he let you go as a director and he got good stuff. I mean, That's wonderful. That's
Yeah.
awesome.
And with people who hire talent, let's call them the client, just because you see a talent do something in an audition doesn't mean that's how they're going to do it when they get to set and all the other elements are put into play.
Yeah.
But I've sat in meetings before where the client will say, well, I liked the way she did it better than the way she did it. So let's go with the first girl. And I go, no, 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 no. The direction was printed. For example, warm, friendly, and approachable.
Mm.
Oh, that's how you wanted your spokesperson. Because
Right.
I was thinking this should definitely be cold, standoffish,
Standoffish.
and aggressive.
Yes.
That's
Right.
that's how this is written. Like, no,
Right.
let the audition showcase that this person can make choices, not judging them off of the choices that they're making before they even know who the director is. So when I've done that and I speak up on behalf of the talent, we end up going with the person who has been doing it for a couple of years,
Mm.
who has demo reel footage, and the client's always happy,
Yeah.
overjoyed, really, as opposed to, yeah, we like this person's look, but what we really like is the way she interpreted the audition. Okay, but how many times did she maybe practice that? Look at her resume. She's never done this before. And if it were theater and we had a rehearsal process, we had all this time to prepare, oh
Yeah.
my gosh, give
No
the gal a
problem.
chance.
Hmm.
But if we got one day to make this great and my reputation's riding on it, I'm going to pick somebody who's done this a couple times before.
Mm.
I didn't mean to, you know, go too far with this.
No,
Get
that's
me all worked up. I want to hear more about this article.
Oh, okay. Well, I have 0% recall, so I did read it, but I can't remember half of it. I mean, and that's basically the gist of it was that, since COVID, self-tapes are, what we do now. And being asked to memorize crazy amount of lines or being asked to basically film, I've seen some that are like, basically filmed the entire commercial for the audition is just unpaid labor. It's wearing actors out. They're getting, burnt out of it. And, some are even spending money to go to a studio to record. I mean, I've done that a couple of times where I'm like, I don't think I can get this at home. I'm going to go either get coaching or get help. And so, or if you have like a noisy house or you don't have the right lighting, it's a whole thing, but it's something
It's
that we deal with these days.
what's problematic, I think, is that actors believe that if they pay whatever it costs, $50, $45 for the hour to self-tape, if they pay that, their audition will be better.
Better.
And
Right.
that's not true
No.
at all. I
No, it's
also,
probably more pressure on you because you're paying.
that's it. And you
Yeah.
know you only have so much time
Mhm.
to get it right. And it's not your home environment. I love the self-tape from home world. I love that. Doesn't mean I follow all of the instructions on the breakdown because I also know that they don't help. If anything, they hinder. And so there are clients who will sometimes call me or email me because they hear my name somewhere and they say, like, how much does it cost for a self-tape session or whatever? And if it doesn't take a reader or if it doesn't take a lot of work, sometimes I'll tell them, like, look, I'm not going to charge you my hourly rate. You don't need that for an audition. But I'm already on Zoom now. Like, hop on. I'll do the rel. I'll give it a check for you. And you just, you want to throw some money at me? So be it. You want to recommend me to somebody? Let's go that route. But I
Yeah.
don't need to take your money just to do something you could do at home. The reason they feel like they need to is because how many times, Leslie, have you seen on the casting breakdown it says, uh, you know, uh, clean backdrop behind
Mhm.
you or clear white whatever wall, nothing in the background to distract, wear solid colors. It's like, wait a minute, because w when I watch these commercials and these TV shows, there's stuff in the background.
Yeah, they're at home.
They're at home.
Right. Usually
That
it's a home setting.
Right. There's a lamp over there. And you know what? If I'm distracted by the lamp, to the point where I can't pay attention to your performance, then either I'm not good at my job or the
Right, or
actor's
you're
not good at their job or that's one
exactly.
hell of a lamp designer. Where'd you get it? But I'm not going to be like, I really love that lamp. I wonder where she bought that lamp and then miss your performance. And if I do, then you know what? I can always hit rewind and watch your performance again and not tell anybody that I was distracted by the lamp because lamps don't distract. I've also seen characters on TV wear floral shirts. They wear patterns. It's not distracting. A pattern on a shirt is distracting you from the talent's performance. Get over yourselves, casting directors. That's playing into a what do you call it? Like dogma
Yeah.
that is unnecessary.
Well, how much of that is due to the casting directors wanting to send the client videos that look exactly the same, like same kind of background, obviously same orientation, so horizontal,
Yeah.
same labeling method. So because they want it to be as clean and it's easy for the client to just go through one, two, three, four.
I completely understand that.
Mm.
But what the client wants is to find the best talent. And the best talent can't always be their best when they're self-conscious about their lamp
What's the
during an
heck's on the
audition.
behind them? Yeah,
There's a
it's
difference
true.
between you've got a lamp and a plant behind you, and like the TV is on,
Is on,
or
right?
your kids are fighting over a toy in the background. That's a different
Right.
story. I'm not talking about that.
Your underwear's hanging over the shower.
Right, right. I've even done some where, I have a green screen studio. So I remove the background and it's just a green a wall. And I've had agents say, that green is so distracting. What's distracting? It's all the same color. Yes, but it makes me think of a green screen. It is a
It is a
green
green
screen.
screen. Yeah.
So it's like people, including agents and casting directors, will read articles or hear certain things in the industry, wear solid color shirts, have a clean, non-distracting background. And we just sort of adopt these things as law, as opposed to really looking at this and going, is that what really matters, especially in the world of tape from home?
Mm.
Is that what really and truly matters? Other things that I've seen, and this was a real audition, it had you set up your home, your studio, as if you were in a small business that was like a printing shop. This was the first time I ever did this, and honestly, the last time I ever did this was once, and it was the year of COVID when all the tapes were at home. And it
Yeah.
said you're entering your house and you're carrying a stack of boxes and you've got keys in your hand and then you drop the keys and you drop the boxes. Then you have to go over to one of the copiers and it doesn't work. Well, I'm sitting here going, this is so detailed. Oh, they must really be interested in me. So I got all these empty Amazon boxes. I moved my printer over so it was in the frame to look like a copy machine. I did
Yeah.
all this stuff. And then I didn't even get the call back. And I looked at the audition video. I'm like, this is great. So I just, was a little ballsy and I called up the casting
Of
director.
course you did.
I sure did. I called him and he remembered me, and he and I we still talk from time to
Yeah.
time. In fact, he's the one that sent me the thing we just talked about earlier, which, we talked about it. But I just called him and I said, what happened? I thought I did a great job. I followed it. He goes, oh, you did a great job. Your audition was great. They just wanted a different look. My look didn't change that much from the headshot that I was using then to 3 days after that headshot was seen. My look didn't change that much. So what it came down to was they didn't know the look that they wanted until they saw it.
Yeah. True.
That's frustrating, but also
Yes.
understandable. If that's
Right.
the case, guess what you do before you do self tapes? You look at demo reels,
Yeah. Narrow it down.
narrow
Mm.
it down that way. but I don't think casting can charge as much when there's not a big audition process to go through. And look, I get it. Everybody's got to make money. I get it.
Yeah.
But I would say, what's more valuable? What should you be able to charge more for? A lengthy process, or I can have everything sent to you this time tomorrow.
Yeah.
It's done.
Mm.
It's the difference between charging for your time and charging for your experience and expertise.
Have you ever wanted to go deeper into casting and become a casting director? Is that ever in your purview?
I think about it at least twice a day.
Really?
Yeah, yeah. I would love to do it and I would be amazing at it. And I do cast for a
Yes.
lot of the different companies that I work with.
Hmm.
And sometimes I think, gosh, why don't I just do that? And to be honest, I think sometimes, and I'm sure a lot of actors feel this way, I think to myself, well, I'm 41. Am I going to really start a brand new day job,
Yeah.
eight
Why
hour day
not? Yeah.
tomorrow? There's a difference between having an idea of something that is an offering
Right.
versus something where I've got to now have an office and a brand, and this is the whole business, and I've got to spend all day, every day doing this. I don't know. I don't
Yeah.
know.
I hear you. I know like you said, you'd be great at it and you have so much expertise and
Talent
experience,
would
but
love me. The client
oh
would
yeah.
love me. I'm
Yeah.
I'm convincing myself now. Being a
So
producer, though, being a
yeah.
producer, or what did you call a brand advisor? No, your role at the marketing agency.
Oh, well, I'm a an account director, account.
That's it. That's
Yeah.
it. When you see somebody, a talent that's submitting, don't you automatically know whether or not this person, at least as it stands today, is a great fit for what your client has described to you?
In my experience, yes. Yeah. I have been able to figure that out. But I know what to look for. And that's kind of why we're sitting here. I know red flags when I see them. I know what to look for. And yeah, I mean, and the process, when you know, the process can be a lot smoother and you can get good professional talent.
And that good professional talent should come at a bit of a premium cost, right? Does the client know that?
Well, in my case, I made that clear. Like, here's what you'll need to pay talent, and here's the type of talent we want to get. We don't want to just, because clients will say, oh, in fact, somebody said it in a meeting yesterday about talking about just a model for some clothing. Oh, we have people who've said that they would do it for us, No, you don't have people. I don't want your cousin's friend. I don't want it unless your cousin's friend has a reel and a lookbook. I'll take a look at it. But, we're talking about a whole investment in a brand, hundreds and hundreds of thousands of dollars to get a clothing brand off the ground on your website. You need models who fit your brand, and we're going to find them, and it might not be the first people we may have to go through a couple of people to get that perfect look, but I don't.
It can't
Don't
just
tell me.
be your cousin because she's available that day or going to
Right.
be visiting.
Right. And she doesn't mind doing it. Okay, well, does she have any angles that she prefers? Or, it was just like, it was very much, and they got it. I mean, they're like, no, we get that. That's what we want. But it seems like talent or hair and makeup are the places that people want to save money. And I'm like, no, 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 that's the wrong way to look at it.
Right.
Invest in your talent. Invest, invest, invest. It's part of a larger investment anyway. So like, don't cut costs. If they need to travel, you pay for the hotel room. You pay for okay, they're coming in from out of town or something. you make it work because that's what you do when you want a good product.
I sold a campaign thing today for one of the production companies I do sales for. And basically, I said to them that we're going to, in order for me to take on this project, me meaning the production company, there are certain standards that are going to be put in place, and I'm immovable on those. And one of them is local hire only. I won't use it because if I'm supposed to find the best person who has the look, has the personality, is this seamless blend of your company and a real person, then the one thing I'm not going to let get in my way, well, I should say the two things I'm not going to let get in my way, a JetBlue ticket and a night at the La Quinta.
Just
Not not a
right.
factor.
Yeah, right.
You
It's
know, but
true.
so many will die on that hill.
Yes. Yeah. I mean, my husband had somebody say, we really love you for this job, but we want to put all of our budget into the media spend, so buying the advertising. Okay, great. You want to put, but you got to pay your talent. It's like, okay, I get it. Everybody wants to put as much money as they can into getting this final commercial or whatever it may be out there into the world, and but if talent isn't part of your budget and it's not a good part of your budget, then you don't have anything to show.
The moment you say, we love you, you're a perfect fit, that should now be okay. Let's collaborate together and make this work. It doesn't have to
Yeah,
be a first class plane ticket. You don't
exactly.
have to
Right.
spend a night in the presidential suite at the Ritz. But to say that the three to even $700 that it would take to get your top choice, the best person, here for 2 days, whatever, that money you'd rather put into ad spend. So what you're saying is you'd rather send your second choice, you'd rather send the runner up. Don't get me wrong, silver medals are beautiful, but you'd rather have the silver medal winner represent you and send that ad to more people. In other words, you'd rather share your mediocrity
Right,
across
to
a
a bigger
broader
audience.
spectrum,
Sure, that's exactly
then
what they would
find a
say.
way as a company to come up with an extra $700. If your business can't come up with an extra $700, now you know it's time to close up shop. If 700 breaks you and you're done, then you failed a long time ago.
Yeah, I mean,
And
that is so true. And on the talent side of things, for talent who's listening, ask for travel.
oh, yes, okay.
Ask for it,
I'm
because
talking about
nine
the
times out of
producers.
10, you're going to get it. Because, even just gas money, or, I don't
Uh,
know. We
look,
learned that over the
I
time,
love
over the
this. I know. I'm going to say one more thing.
Yes.
Talent should not have the responsibility of having to ask the producer for that, especially if you're represented on that gig.
Right.
The agent
The agent should be asking.
should build that in,
Mm.
make it a non negotiable. And if the client just says, absolutely not, so you're not going to pay the extra $500, no, we will not do it. It's just a policy that we have. Okay, well, then this talent's day rate, I know we have 500 listed. It's actually 1,500. Uh, but you'll love it. Or it's five, whatever it's
Right.
1,000, whatever it is,
Hmm.
build in those costs to the day rate then.
Hmm. Right.
Now you're not paying for travel and accommodations. You're just
Yeah.
hiring a more premium level experienced talent. Ask the people who worked at Progressive when they hired Flo. Ask them if they regret bringing her back,
Putting her up in a
hiring her.
hotel
Yeah.
if she
Yeah.
needed it,
Right.
right?
Do they
I
regret it?
mean,
They don't regret it.
yeah. Oh, I'd love to. Do you know anything about that cat? That's a whole different show, but I would just love to know like that casting process, like how they found her, and those
Well,
iconic castings are interesting.
that's a we you know what? We will talk about that on another episode because I do know that story.
Ah,
And she was not the big spokesperson, even when the very first commercial had already aired. They made her that afterwards because of an ad lib that she did on camera that not only made it into the final product, but everybody loved it. And
oh,
it created an association between the brand and that personality, which is in
yeah.
fact her personality. We can get into that next time.
So great. Yeah.
If
Mm,
if you're a talent watching this and you have thoughts, questions, feedback, whatever it is, if you want to get answers or use us as a sounding board, or just tell us that we're wrong, that's okay too. Comment below. We will check it. We will check it. And let us know if you're a casting professional or a marketing professional and you want us to, you know, hear your thoughts.
we will. We
We
will. And we
will.
can help. We can certainly help.
Absolutely. I feel like we've gone way over, but it's sometimes it's necessary. And I often think that one person, it's going to sound a little cheesy, but then I'll wrap it up. That one person who really wants to do this kind of work, but never gets the opportunity, or they want to do this kind of work and they don't know where to start.
Mm,
Or what's even more frustrating is they've done a few little things. They don't know how to get to what's called the next level. I find that an agent should be somebody who helps you grow your career. That's why they call you their client, because they're serving you and they're helping you. What has happened recently is we're reversing the roles now, and the client is becoming the person who's paying for the production.
mm.
That's the customer. The client is who you represent. The customer is who buys that from you. So agents are afraid to negotiate these big things, these extra asks, because it costs money. And they're afraid that if I tell them they have to pay for travel and accommodations, then the other agency that they'll call will say, no, that's fine. We'll just do it for half the rate that they even initially offered. Then I'm going to lose business. Well, maybe for that client, you will, that client, that customer, the person that's spending money, maybe you will lose that person, but you'll gain the respect of that person as well. And when their budgets do increase and they're ready for that big spend, they're not going to go to the discount vendor. You get
Absolutely.
what you
And
pay
yeah.
for.
Absolutely. And how about premium talent? Premium talent is not going to stick around with an agent who's going to be undercutting every job. The premium talent wants to stick with that agent who is negotiating those big jobs. I have had so many agents in both Florida, and I'll shut up after this, and here where I live
We
now.
keep
And
saying
like,
that, but we won't.
I
Keep
know
going.
my agent here always gets these beautiful jobs. Like I never feel like I'm working for, I'm being undervalued. I feel valued. And they had that reputation. And so I have never wanted to, not be with them.
Oh,
Yeah. And I
that's
haven't had that
beautiful.
experience with some other agencies. So,
Are
you
you
could
willing to tell us who that agency is that treats you really, really well? If not, I'll cut that out. But I feel like people who do this job and they do it really well with honor, with integrity, they back you up. I feel like every now and then it's okay to say, well, this is who that person is. But it's okay if you don't want to. I'll cut that all out. It's okay.
yeah, I probably won't. I don't want to
Cut it out.
say.
I'll cut it.
Okay.
So let's
Okay.
do the wrap. Let's do the
Okay.
wrap. Ready?
Yeah.
So that's been the show. And I know we went a little long, but hopefully this brought value to you, to your career, and it gave you enough insight just to say, you know what, tomorrow, maybe I'll be a little bit stronger of a self advocate. I'm not afraid now to call up my agent and say, hey, I want the gig, but ask the client or the customer to throw in a night at the Red Roof Inn or whatever. See what they say. And if they say no, that just tells you, talent, where your value is to that agent. I'm not saying quit. I'm not saying leave that agency. Don't do that until you find a better one, until you comment below, and I'll lead you in the right direction. Tell me where you live. I'll help you find a good one.
Excellent. Well, thank
Anything
you.
else, Leslie?
No, you summed it up beautifully. Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching.
And we'll see all of you right here on the show where we can help you make a career out of this crazy business. Good night.
Bye-bye.